Good afternoon, everyone. It's Don once again, and this is Gold Wingnut Live. How's everybody doing today? Lots of familiar faces on the chat list. Laura Mushke, Mark Ryan, good to have you back. So I spent most of my morning today over at the Strawberry Festival, as well as part of yesterday at the Strawberry Festival, enjoying what was going on there. All right, let me turn this. Yeah, okay. I think we got everything working today. So does anybody have any questions? We'll start with that. Don't be bashful. I forget that there's a time lag here between when I speak and when you guys actually hear it. So I got a handful of questions emailed to me this past week. The first one was from Mark. He says, a while back you showed Fifth Third Bank will build a branch in the Villages. You have any idea of a time frame when construction might start? And what road is it to be built on? Okay, so it's on 44, State Route 44. It's at the Lake Deaton Plaza. Basically, it's out in front of Ethan Allen. There's a Walgreens next to it, about 5 other banks. And what else? Oh yeah, when's it going to start? Who knows? They just got the preliminary, permitting done. All right, so Jeffrey says, Don, thanks, love the new forum. Can you refinance the bond? No, you cannot. This is not a loan, okay? This is a bond. It's an investment tool for the district, and we have to pay it back. The district can refinance it, and they generally do that on a 10-year basis if they can get a lower note. Let's see here. The correct preformed concrete wall tilt up or precast or something else. You know what, I knew this right before we came on the air because I went by the plant. Oh, I forgot what it was called. I think it's called precast. Yes, it's precast. And that's based on, it's called the DZ Precast Factory or something like that. Let's see here. I heard Hooters is being built on Route 44 across from Lake Deaton Plaza. Is that true? Dave, not that I know of. That's a new one on me. Hopefully they won't hire local talent because, never mind, I'm not going to go there. Let's see. Any new information on the villas near Hacienda Hills? They have started work on clearing the land now that the Cordoba recreation area is done. They have started work on that. I shot a little bit of video on that this past week. That'll be in video number 137 coming out Sunday. Let's see here. Let's see. Is the Villages Homeowners Advocates a good thing to join? Well, Mark, I'm a life member. I have been for a while now. I thought it was a good organization. They try and focus on the positive. Other groups around here are victims, if you will. They're always looking to for something negative, and I'll leave it at that. But yeah, I think that's a good group. A lot of good people running it. All right. Unschool says, if you're walking along a retention pond, how far from the water's edge is an alligator safe distance? About a half a mile. No. I've only seen a couple when I've been walking. I've seen a couple when I've been taking pictures of homes. And I can't get enough distance away from these things as far as I'm concerned. Anything that crawls on its belly and has teeth is no friend of mine. But really, honestly, if you see a gator, you should really attempt to stay as far away from it as possible. They can run like 30 miles an hour in a straight line. So you're not going to outrun one if it's going to come after you. Is there, Laura, are you not getting audio? Is anybody not getting audio? Keith says, is the Publix at Magnolia Plaza is the Publix at Magnolia Plaza the closest grocery currently to the new villages around Eastport? Currently, yes. I think that in my last video I pointed out that it looks like Middleton is getting a grocery store, something like a Walmart neighborhood market. It's not a huge one like a Publix, but it'll be a smaller one. Let's see. Oh, Jeff says, I'm a fellow bubblehead also. In case you don't know what a bubblehead is, he was a submariner. And a submariner is someone who's on submarines. If you hear somebody call it a submariner is a below average sailor. So the proper term is submariner. Do you recommend a termite bond for a home? Absolutely, yes. This is a subtropical climate. They can bridge the gap between the foundation and the walls very easily. If there's any kind of crack, these guys will just work their way through. So yes, definitely get a termite bond. Let's see. All right. Villages Realtor, MEB Realty, yes, thank you. Thanks for joining us. Okay, everybody's got volume, it says here. Will the new hospital be constructed near Eastport? Suzanne wants to know. So that's a good question. I mean, right now there's a Villages Health facility that's under construction. It's the farthest along building. The Wellness Village is right there at the corner of 470 and the Turnpike, on the opposite side of the Turnpike from Lake Denham and Dabney. That is currently the plan. I know that they are negotiating, trying to get somebody confirmed in there. It was an interesting situation. I have a question about that in my stack when we get to that, after we run through all these questions that are on the screen. Let's see. Rent from a villager. Oh, hi Karen, how are you? Good to hear from you again. Let's see. Thomas said, I emailed you 2 questions. All right, let me see if I can find them. I got a bunch here. So I don't see them on my email folder, and I'm not seeing them in my stack. But it doesn't mean much, unless you're going by something other than Thomas Trixel on your email, because the email shows the actual list, actual account name. Unschool says, what is the way a new town center opens up? What is the flow of what opens, or do they wait until the whole thing is ready to open? So Eastport, I guess, is what you're talking about. The first building I think you'll see open up is the sales office. That's building 12. That's the farthest along one in construction. You've seen that in my videos. You've seen it in the Villages videos. It's also in my next video. Restaurants normally follow quickly thereafter. Over in Middleton right now, they've announced 3 restaurants. The bank is also there. There's a coffee shop there. So that's generally what flows. It depends on the build out that the merchants do. They're basically leasing shell space or an empty building, and it's up to the merchants to build it out and make it suit to their needs. But again, it'll start opening up as soon as they get some businesses ready to open, and normally it goes pretty quick after that. Let's see. Janet Black says, do you think they will build a bridge over the turnpike close to us in Denham, Dabney? So do I think they're going to build a bridge over the turnpike close to Denham and Dabney? Yes, I do. I believe that as part of the Lake County road agreement to widen 470 from where 470 ends at Dabney all the way to the county line, it's going to be 4 lanes. Right now that's a 2-lane bridge. I believe that they may add some multimodal lanes across that. It's a huge deal to have that connectivity, especially near what will be the wellness village. So yeah, I think it's coming. When, it's hard to say. All right. Oh boy, here we go. It's going crazy. Let's see. All right. William Cox says, any word when the CVS at Magnolia will be started? So the last word I heard is because of a merger that CVS went through, that's kind of in limbo right now. It's still planned to move forward, but it's up to corporate right now at CVS to make that move. Let's see. Volume is excellent. Great. For WellPoint, Enfield, Oak Hollow, what is your best guess on when we'll be able to buy land there? And are these going to be a good location based on your assessment? All right, so the first one that will probably open is WellPoint. They started on the postal station in the last 2 weeks. So that's always a good sign that something's coming. But when it will open, that whole area is under heavy construction right now. Oak Hollow, I don't think we'll see for another year just because it's going to be golf court front homes, and they're not going to open it up for sale until the golf course gets closer to done. They have started on it. WellPoint, I think 2 or 3 months we might see it start selling. I'm not 100% sure. They're really focusing on Lake Denham, Moultrie Creek, Shady Brook, and Water's Edge. That's where the current focus is at. Let's see. And Edenfield. I keep saying Enfield. I don't know why. Edenfield is it's right there along with Oak Hollow, because a lot of Edenfield is wrapped around the Oak Hollow golf course. Let's see. Unschool says, when would music start in the town square opening schedule? Probably right after the first couple of restaurants open. They want to bring people in to the square, so they'll do what they can to bring that foot traffic in. All right. Naperville Real Estate Live. Hey, hi, how are you? Okay, let's see. RMO 214. A few years ago, there was talk about crystal lagoons being built in the villages. Any more on that? Not happening. So understand what crystal lagoons is. Crystal lagoons is a heat sink for a a central plant or an air conditioning plant. So normally they would use cooling towers to reject the heat to the air, and you see these on top of buildings and beside buildings, these big metal structures with fans on the top. Instead of doing that, they use water, and they use that to heat the heat from the building that they're extracting in the process of air conditioning. They're using that to heat the water. There has to be a sufficient heat load. Normally you'll see these things at like data centers or extremely large business complex that use a central plant. We have nothing like that there. Plus, you're talking about giving up a couple of 100 acres to somebody else to control. I don't ever see the developer doing that. They're not going to relinquish control to anybody. And really, is there a market for crystal lagoons? I don't see senior citizens. We're too far away from a major metropolitan area like Tampa or Orlando, so there's just not a huge market. All right. Um, so no crystal lagoons. Thomas Trixel says, can you relocate your tongue? You guys hear my videos, and I don't make a lot of stumbling like that. That's because I'm a good editor. If you've seen the Liberty Mutual commercials with the young actor who can't get his lines right, this guy is a pro compared to the way I stumble over my words. All right, can you relocate the kitchen sink from the island to the kitchen window in designer homes? I will tell you, they have really cut back on allowing what you can do to reconfigure. I would say probably no. I haven't talked to anybody, though, in the design center in a long time. I know that they have really cut back on what you can actually do for design changes, though. All right. Jeff says, how far in advance does the county appraiser post the lot dimensions on its map before the developer releases the lots for sale? You know, honestly, I don't know. I don't track that. So, you know, Bill, the guy who does my maps, I know he gets a lot of information from the assessor's office. That's the maps that you see me using all the time in my videos. The developer didn't like me using their maps. They tried to say copyright infringement, and I said fair use, and they said lawyer, and I said okay, never mind. Anyway, let's see. Kay Swan says, if you purchase a veranda with a pool, do you have to wait until after the build to put a pool in, or can it be added as part of the build? Okay, so veranda homes are spec homes. Okay, they are what they are. If you have, if you're buying one, they're not gonna even make it available until it's complete and ready to occupy. So you would, if there's not a pool there, then you would have to wait until after purchase. How Kevin wants to know how is the traffic in the winter? I don't think it's that bad. I mean, I've been to LA, I've been to New York, I've been to Atlanta. That's traffic. Having to wait one traffic signal or having 3 people in front of me at a stop sign, I don't consider traffic. Some people have forgotten what the real world is like, though. Let's see. Naperville Real Estate says, I'm at a birthday dinner, but wondering what the next 2 neighborhoods to be developed will be. Any idea on the timeline? How are the homes in Moultrie Creek selling? From what I understand, they're selling well. They're still selling at the same rate they always have. As far as the next 2 villages, based on what I'm seeing, Shady Brook, and immediately following that will be Water's Edge. Have you heard anything about Pegasus water filter better than Nova? So Nova is one of my advertisers. I think they're a good product. I don't know anything about Pegasus. So no, that's all I know. What coffee do you like? 7-Eleven, Dunkin' Donuts. Any news on the coffee brand will be the operator at the Middleton drive-thru coffee shop? No news on it. Maxwell House Master Blend is what I've been drinking for the last 30 years. About a gallon a day. Not quite that much, but I'm a huge coffee drinker. I always was when I was in the Navy also. Let's see. Don, do you feel there is any need for concern by villages residents or future residents with outsiders using the community pools and pickleball courts? You know, there's always a possibility of a concern. When you look at the statistics, they said that they had, they noted 600 violations in a month at the neighborhood pools. Now consider you have over 100 pools. Okay, so that's 6 a month at any given pool. I don't see that as a huge thing, but obviously if you see somebody there, call Community Watch. Say, hey, we got people that aren't supposed to be here, and you know, ask them to send somebody out from the rec center to check their IDs and have them removed. I don't like it that other people are using our stuff. We're paying our good money or amenities fees for it. I don't believe other people should be using them. Any news on site of new VA clinic in villages? Mom wants to know. So there's already a VA clinic at the north end. I have not heard anything else about that. This is the first time anybody's mentioned anything about a VA clinic. Mark wants to know, have you been to Mystic Ice Cream? Nope, haven't been there. All right. Gil wants to know, hi, do you have any guess when we may be able to ride the golf cart from Sawgrass through the new bridge to Magnolia Plaza and Finney? When they are ready to sell the houses in WellPoint. And it's that simple. The only thing that drives things like that is home sales. They opened the cart path to Magnolia Plaza right as they were starting to sell homes, or excuse me, not Magnolia Plaza, to Middleton, right as they were starting to sell homes in Moultrie Creek. Why? Because one of their biggest sales tools is people going by and looking at the houses, looking in the houses, and a lot of people do that in their golf cart. So, there's the old wives' tale about 3 homes in the villages. I don't know how true that is. I know I've had several neighbors that have had multiple homes. Had one neighbor who was on their 6th home, and they moved away back up to New York, and then they came back, and it's crazy. But no, it's not going to open until they're ready to sell homes. It's that simple. And besides that, there's still a lot of construction going on. It's still going to be a couple of months. Anything on another hospital? Vincent, we'll get to that in just a minute. All right, let's see. Keith says, I saw that Eden Magnolia Village Apartments website says the project is close proximity to the villages, allowing future residents to benefit from many of the amenities the community has to offer. Boy, don't you love that. I guess what hopefully they're referring to as amenities are things like the town square. The town square, though, is not an amenity. It is a commercial operation, and it is not funded in any way by our amenity fee. But a lot of places do that. They'll say, oh yeah, we're right near the villages. You can use all their facilities. Yeah, it's a very deceptive advertising. I disagree with it. William from the Florida Keys. How's life down in the Keys? Nice and warm, I guess. I know it's definitely been a nice day here. Okay. Kathy says, when will the county take over the roads in Hawkins? Far as I know, they have. It's been, I think, 3 years. Excuse me. I would have to check with the the county office to see if the warranty period is up. But yeah, they pretty much have them already. Okay. Let's see. To go from Finney to East Point in the future. Finney to Corbin Way, Finney to Marsh Bend Trail 501. What about Finney and 505? 505. Now you got me. I don't know off the top of my head where 505 is. Let's see. So Finney Way to Corbin Trail. Yep. Finney Way to Marsh Bend Trail. But yeah, I don't know off the top of my head where 505 is. If it's not a village's road, it's not going to happen for golf carts. Hi Don, when is your next flyover of Moultrie Creek? 2 days ago. It'll be in the next video. I try and get out there every week. There's so much going on, it's crazy. Mark wants to know gas or electric, which is better and why? Boy, is this a chicken and egg type question? No, but it's just as old as the chicken and egg type question. So my preference is gas. And I'll give you the scenario. You run out, you can bring a gallon of gas to a golf cart. You can't bring a gallon of battery juice and get it back on the road. You're going to get towed. That's the only way you're going to get back. And, it's, if you forget to plug in your golf cart the night before and charge the batteries, you may not be able to use it the next day if the batteries are too low and you got to go a good distance. Okay. I know there's arguments both ways. Oh, the new batteries are lasting longer. One of the misconceptions is, it's got less of a carbon footprint. No. Actually, when you start dealing with electricity and any form of energy, every time it changes state, you have losses. So in a gas cart, you go from gasoline to, which is chemical energy, to the combustion, which creates mechanical energy or rotational energy. With an electric cart, you go from whatever fossil fuel they're using to turning the generator. The generator generates electricity. It's got to go through a transformer. Every one of these steps has losses. Transmission lines have losses. Gets to the local substation, more losses. From the substation, it goes to your house. Gets to your house, okay, now it's got to go through a transformer because that's AC, not DC. The golf cart uses DC. That changes then electrical energy into chemical energy. The battery heats up, more losses. When you discharge the battery, it heats up, more losses. Now you're changing electrical energy to mechanical energy, and you're finally rolling. All those inefficiencies add up. The carbon footprint is displaced. It's not coming out the tailpipe, but it is coming out the smokestack at the electric plant. All right. Let's see. Is there any way that either the black fences or the high reflective items to be put in Chitty Chatty where the two to three ponds are extremely close to the multi-level pass, close to okay, I know what you're talking about. So right after you come off the bridge, this is RMO 214, is asking about black fences or reflective, they're called RPMs, reflective pavement markers or raised pavement markers in Chitty Chatty, right after you come off the bridge and you get into, you get out of Thai Villas and into the village of Chitty Chatty proper. There's a couple of sharp bends. You need to talk to your district supervisors and push the issue with them. The district supervisors, that's their job. They'll take it to Project-Wide Advisory Committee, and the Project-Wide Advisory Committee can push it forward. Let's see. William says, it's 72, but feels like 76. Yeah, the keys are terrible. All right. Mark says, if the developer builds out all the land, all their vacant land to the south, how many miles will it be from the top of the villages to the bottom? About 25 or 26 currently. Suzanne says 505 is Bigham Trail. We'll get back to that. So yeah, it's about 20 miles from. I can never remember this one. It's all the way Mulberry Grove. From Mulberry Grove up to, or all the way down to what would be basically Center Hill is where they're going currently with the land they own. So yeah, it'll be quite a hike. So 505 is Bigham Trail. No, nothing's going to happen on Bigham Trail. That's a county road, or no, I'm sorry, it might be a city road. Yeah, pretty sure it's a city road, City of Wildwood. So unless Wildwood opts to put a golf cart path in, not happening. Whew. All right, let's see. William says, we will be back in the villages in April. Well, welcome back. All right. Chuck asks, how can we contact Gold Wingnut for home to provide occasional videos of our home being built. Go to goldwingnut.com. That's my web address. Let's see. We'll go to the Gold Wingnut website. Where's screen capture? Here we go. I gotta find it here. Gotta find it. All right. So if you go to goldwingnut.com, this is what you'll see. So if you go to Gold, this is what you'll see. Photo and video package. So if you go to this will give you what you'll see. Photo and video package. So if you go to this will give you what you'll see. Photo and video package. So if you go to this will give you what you'll see. Photo and video package. So if you go to this will give you what you'll see. Photo and video package. So if you go to this will give you what you'll see. Photo and video package. So if you go to this will give you what you'll see. Photo and video package. All right. Let's see. Back to here. When will they start work on 470? Ray, I don't know. I haven't seen any permitting or any plans come out on that yet. I haven't heard anything at the MPO, Lake and Sumter MPO, which is Metropolitan Planning Organization. That's one of the jobs I have as a county commissioner. So I don't know when they're going to start on that. Let's see. Mark says, what type of inmates are housed in Coleman Prison? Have you heard of any community outreach to serve the inmates? Lawbreakers. No, I don't know. It is, what I do know about the prison is it's a very large employer here in Sumter County, but I don't know a whole lot about it. I know that there's 4 prisons. I think it's 4 prisons there. One of them is a women's prison. There's a high security, but not a maximum or supermax. Mark, you're saying there's an echo? Ooh. Hang on. All right, that probably fixed it. It looks like I bumped a button on my console. All right. Uh-oh. So is it still echoing? Okay. Whew. All right. This looks like there's 100 dons at the screen capture. Oh, okay. Let's see. Do you see any scenic walking paths in Moultrie Creek paths other than along the roads? Ask a teacher. Good question. I looked at that when I was out there. No, I have not. Most of those walking paths are going to be along the retention ponds and woodlands areas. The only major woodlands area in Moultrie Creek is the Eagle Preserve over by the Shallow Creek Golf Course. And there's no walking path around that because it's where the golf course is. Whitey Bulger is, Laura says, yeah, Whitey Bulger was there. That's correct. And the doctor who abused members of the women's gymnastics team, yes, those two, well, Whitey was there, but he got transferred, and then somebody took care of him and helped the prison budget. Whew. Man, we've been running for, 35 minutes. Okay. So I don't see any more questions, so I'll go to my list here. Best place to get farm fresh eggs, farmers market, or do you know any local farmers who buy direct? Mark, I don't know. I get mine at Aldi because they're the cheapest. Let's see. So this is from Keith. This is an email. He says, we have noticed some homes in Dabney area have been discounted, and some plots in Shady Brook are only $1,000. There are various viewpoints on the reason: location, economy, mortgage rates, supply and demand. Any reason to believe that these favorable prices will be extended to the new villages north of Eastport, or might they have more normal or higher prices? Any updates on commercial plans or timing of new homes in the Richmond construction area? So this is from Keith and Lisa in Pennsylvania. So why do stores put stuff on sale? To move them. They're looking to move inventory, and that's all it is. They're just trying to move the houses so that they can focus on Moultrie Creek and Shady Brook. This happens all the time. They'll cut prices 3%, and they'll stay like that for a month, and then they go back to normal, and 2 or 3 months later, it'll do it all over again. Home prices, though, the longer you wait, the higher they get. It's bottom line. I don't know all their logic. I know sometimes they might go 4%. I believe we've seen it when they were trying to finish off the last couple of homes in a neighborhood. But they're just looking to move inventory. Hopefully to encourage somebody, hey, it's on sale. I'll save $15,000, $20,000, whatever it is, depending on the price of the homes. North of Eastport, north of Eastport, south of Eastport, they're going to be pretty much normal or higher, just because of demand and location. Location, as they say in real estate. Any updates on commercial plans or timing of new homes in Richmond construction area? So I know that they're still working on the Richmond area. They're making progress getting the utilities underground. As far as commercial properties, though, in the segment between where they're building homes right now and all the way up to Brownwood, no, nothing yet. On the other side of the street, though, next to the emergency department, there is another commercial strip mall, for lack of better terms. It's phase 3, I think they're calling it, of the strip mall that's there, that's planning to go in. All right, let's see. Mark says, for a new home built in Moultrie Creek, we saw the foundations framed and a plastic barrier. Is it a practice to compact the ground, or does it not need compacting? So yes, they do compact the ground after they put the underground utilities in, the water and the sewage lines. It doesn't take them very long, because the way they do things here is in the initial phases of construction, they'll strip away the topsoil and to make sure that there's no organics in the ground. Then they lay down a layer of this red or gray clay to help control drainage. Then they bring topsoil back on, and it's compacted, and the ground is hard. When we had our floors retiled, oh my gosh, how long has it been now? That was right before we got the pool. So about 7 years ago, one of the first things I looked for was cracks in the foundation from settling, from not being compacted properly. My last house down in Haines City, they were everywhere. It was terrible. I had cracks that were 1/2 an inch wide in my foundation going through my living room. Here, there were 2 small hairline cracks that were about 6 foot long. They didn't propagate out to the edge of the house. Those were just curing cracks. So, nothing. I don't think there's anything to worry about. Okay. Pat 2463 says, any opinion on how many golf course greens or why many of the golf course greens are in rough shape? I do. We were out yesterday. We played golf. I got 9 holes in over at Tarpon Boyle. The greens were in terrible shape. They have a problem with a fungus that has spread throughout the villages, and I know that they are fighting it, and it is a serious problem. Part of what happens here is, a lot of people play a lot of golf. They'll play today, tomorrow, and the next day, and they'll bring foreign matter, grass clippings and that on their shoes. and it tends to get, you know, it spreads like a disease very quickly. And whatever happened, whatever this fungus is, whatever's infecting the ground, it's a problem. I know that they are working on it. It is it is going to be a very long summer for the golf course crews. And as I remember from my time on the Project Wide Advisory Committee, there are 3 different contractors that are using, or that the district uses for taking care of the courses. So I know, like, I live near Palmetto and Magnolia. They use the same contractor that is used with Evans Prairie. So, they can end up bringing some of the problems from one course to the other that way. Let's see. Are you going to have a drone class sometime soon? Yes, I am, William. So I am teaching right now my Step 2 class, which is how to use the DJI Fly software. If you have a newer drone, the DJI Fly software is the current application that's used either on the phone or on the remote. I go through everything about it, starting, so not this coming week, but the week after. I have my Step 1 class starting on Friday, and my Step 3 class starting on Wednesday. It will be 1 class a week for 4 weeks. Normally it's 2 classes a week for 2 weeks, but with the Step 3 class, because of the amount of homework that I assign, and yes, you do got to do your homework to get anything out of the class, the class is only held once a week to give you plenty of time to do the homework. And there was a need for another Step 1 class, so that's why we did it that way. Let's see. Let's see. Do you regret putting in a pool? No. I don't use it as much as I used to, but I love going out to it. And my 2 golden retrievers tend to love playing in the water also. And when we had the puppies this past summer, the puppies absolutely loved going into it. The first time we let them in, one of them went running head first and literally dove straight down. And we were kind of a little panicky, but then she came up. She coughed once, looked around, and started swimming. It was amazing watching these, this is 5-week-old puppies playing in the water. Let's see. Has the golf course fungus spread to the grass at residential homes? I don't know. I know I have a fungus problem in my yard. I don't know where it came from, but it's been an uphill battle for the last year and a half. But the way it would get into somebody's home is if they had their golf shoes on and they walked into the grass, into their own personal grass. Most people take their shoes off either at the golf course and put on other shoes. That's what I do. Or they'll wait till they get home and then they take them off and leave them in the garage or in the golf cart. Let's see. Eamon Van 210 says, Don, now that the developer purchased 340 acres off of 44 east of 75, what do you think they will put in it that's not connected to the villages? I've heard rumors. Oh, here we go. Costco again. Yes, I've heard those rumors too. My barber's sister-in-law's ex-boyfriend's cousin, everybody says, oh, they're putting it there. Anyway, that whole area is zoned industrial. The county is looking at building up its industrial marketplace, which is a good thing because it relieves some of the tax burden off of the residents, the homeowners. Right now, jeepers, we're just a little the commercial taxes make up just a little less than half of the total tax burden in the county, and the rest is residential. But I don't know what they're going to put there. My sources don't indicate any solid plans yet, other than it is an economic development zone that the county commission has designated in the last couple of months. All right. Mark says, do you recommend any landscaping designers that can enhance the standard landscaping with a natural look? I don't know any of the landscapers really. There are quite a few good ones out there. My recommendation is when you move in, talk to your neighbors, see who they use, see who they're happy with, and see who they're unhappy with. And when they say, "Well, this guy ripped me off," if you hear that more than once, it's time to run the other way. So, Don. Okay, this is from Charles Beck. It says, Don, with all the apartments being built around Wildwood and the villages, where are all the new kids going to go to school? So, that depends. The Sumter County schools are growing. Wildwood just added a new school, I think it was last year, and that's part of the Sumter County School District. If the parents work for the developer or one of the tenant companies, for example, let's say Walmart, the manager for Walmart or whatever, that's leasing the land from the villages, and there's different eligibility categories. Go to the villages charter school website and they'll explain those, but they would be going to the villages charter school. And there is a lot of that. There are a lot of people that take jobs here in Sumter County, so their kids can go to the charter schools. They're a very good school, and it's a huge resource for the county. But beyond that, you have to talk to somebody on the school board. Let's see. Mark wants to know: is there a change? Is there a charge to? Okay, I'll get this out in a second. Is there a charge to have a home addition or landscape reviewed by the ARC? Tips for homeowners to go through the ARC review process. The ARC does not cost anything. You have a change that you want to submit, you submit it. If it meets the architectural specifications for your CDD, then they will approve it normally, unless there's a setback or something like that. But then that's not meeting the architectural requirements. But no, there's no there's no fee for it. As far as tips, use a reputable contractor, and make sure you have the documents signed by the ARC before they stick a shovel in the ground. If you don't have it approved by the ARC can say, nope, we're not going to approve it after you've done the work, and you have to take it out. And that's nobody's fault but your own. So make sure you get that documentation. That's the best tip I can give you. Let's see. Iram says, we are going to the villages next weekend. We plan to see model home on Moultrie Creek. Do you know what the plan is to start building in Shady Brook? I know right now that there are some cottage homes, which are smaller than designers, that are selling lots, and some of those have the $1,000 lot premium, which is basically nothing. And they're allowing you to pick and choose your floor plan and some of the finishings in it, but not adding extra rooms or blowing rooms out or anything like that. So that's happening in Shady Brook, but they release new lots. It seems like every week. So all I can tell you is just keep watching. The realtors, they don't get a whole lot of notice. Normally a day a notice when something's getting released, but the the developer wants them to sell what's available today. That's the bottom line. Let's see. Boy. Mark again wants to know, before hiring a general contractor to do a home addition, do you recommend using an attorney to review the construction contract? Any tips on for working with a contractor? Yes. I would recommend have the contract reviewed. It would be worthwhile. I wrote a lot of contracts when I worked in construction. So retainage is one. If they demand payment up front for everything, walk the other way. Progress payments, I believe, are appropriate. Progress payments are, you can either define it as certain milestones. Okay, they pour the foundation, that's worth, $5,000 to you, or they get the walls up, that's another $10,000. Don't allow them to get ahead of the project on cash. In other words, don't let them overbill. Better to be, from your position, better for them to be in an underbilled condition, because that causes them to work harder. In an underbilled condition, they're working for cost. They don't make their profits till the very end. And normally that profit is the retainage, getting paid it. And retainage, when I was working construction, retainage was normally 10%. And so, they'd bill you $10,000, but there was 10% retainage, so you pay $9,000. And then that retainage starts adding up. But, definitely get a good lawyer. What is your estimate when they will start building homes in Edenfield? Early 2025. No, I would say late summer or early fall for Edenfield. It's still a ways away. Laura, great question. Will ARC tell a prospective buyer if all exterior modifications to a home have been approved by the ARC? No, that's not their job. This has been an ongoing quest to find some way to resolve this, because it's been a problem, because people would put things in and not get them approved. I have an idea. I've been working with one of the CDD supervisors here in my district, and we think we've got a good idea, but it costs money. And, we're talking, looking at up to 2,500 houses a month or more, because that's how many resales they do. And if you have to look at each one of them, that's a lot of time, it's a lot of money. So there would have to be a charge for that. Okay. Let's see. K-Swan says, can you pick a specific piece of land to build a spec veranda on when they are released, or you're just stuck with the plot the villages picks? So when they build veranda homes, and it's just like any other spec home, they decide what's going on the lot, and they build it. They finish it off with the finishes they desire, and you can buy it, or you can look at the next one. But no, you can't specify a lot and say, I want you to build this type of veranda home on it. They won't do that. Veranda homes are just like courtyard villas, and they build them and then you buy them. That's all there is to it. So hey, there's 132 people here on this call. I don't know how many people have hit the thumbs up, but please hit the thumbs up. It really does help. The advertisers see the thumbs up counts. It gives them a better feel for how popular the broadcast is, and that's how I get paid. And it's a penny or two, sometimes three, depending on if it's a really good video per view. It's not a lot, but every penny helps, as they say. So please hit the thumbs up if you would. Whew. All right, where are we at in time? We got about 5 more minutes, and let's see. One of my favorites, the blasting. So Keith says, thank you for your informative videos. We saw a forum in which Finney residents were discussing blasting at the local quarry. Based on their proximity, do you think WellPoint residents will hear or feel the blasts? So that's the first part. The second part is about sinkholes. So the blasting from WellPoint is a minimum 3 miles away. You're not going to hear or feel it. If you want to know for sure, talk to some of the folks that live in Monarch Grove, because it's the same distance. It's right below WellPoint is right below Monarch Grove, but they only blast up to 5 times a month, and I've witnessed one of the blasting evolutions. A friend of mine runs one of the quarries down in the southern part of the county, and he allowed me to go see a blast. It was kind of cool. What a great job. You get to blow things up. And we were, 200 yards away. Yep, the ground shook for a few seconds, and then it was over. It was a non-event. Let's see. And then I've seen a map of Florida showing areas that might be more prone to sinkholes. Any reasons to believe the new village? Any reason to believe the new villages north of Eastport may be any more or less sinkhole issues? Is specific rider needed to provide home coverage for sinkholes? Let's hit the last part. Yes, there is separate sinkhole coverage that you should purchase if you are concerned. There is, in my homeowner's insurance, I just looked at it this past week, there is a catastrophic ground collapse. And they specifically say this isn't sinkhole coverage, but basically if my home gets swallowed up or becomes completely uninhabitable or gets condemned, then they'll pay for it. Otherwise, if I get a sinkhole in my backyard that takes out my swimming pool, that's my problem because I don't have sinkhole coverage. Myself, when I bought my home 10 years ago, I bought a $300,000 home. I talked to my insurance agent about sinkhole coverage. They wanted $106 a year for sinkhole coverage. Insurance is about actuary tables. How much risk are they assuming? Obviously, for $100 or $106 for a $300,000 home, they didn't feel it was a big risk. They didn't think it was a big risk. I'll save my money. I've been lucky so far. Nothing's happened. Sinkholes, wow, some things that can cause sinkholes. Just about anything. So if the water table goes up, the erosion increases in the limestone, and that can cause sinkholes. If the water table goes down, that creates voids. That can cause sinkholes. If it goes up and down, that can cause sinkholes. If you look at the state of Florida and you see a lake that's round, it was probably a sinkhole. And pretty much all the lakes in Florida are round. It's a huge limestone peninsula. And sinkholes are not unique to Florida. They happen all over the country because there's limestone all over the country. The limestone dissolves. Let's see. We got some more questions here. Let's see. Okay. I would say for any buyer to get in writing from the seller asking if all modifications have been approved by the ARC. If you find out after purchase they were not, get monetary compensation for it. I think that's a good advice. Yep. Mark says single malt or blended. Single malt. Absolutely single malt. Minimum 12 years old. Preferably 15 or older. Don, you're closing in on 19,000 subscribers. Congratulations. Thank you, Laura. Yep, I've been watching it. I can't wait to hit the 20,000 mark. Let's see. Jeremy says, if I owned a landscape company, I would look up regulations in every village I was about to work in and inform the customer. Seems like the ethical thing to do. Absolutely, Jeremy, I would agree. And the architectural standards and the deed restrictions for every village and every community is available online at the District Gov website. Armo says, thank you for all you do. Just wondering, a few videos ago you mentioned something being built near the Hobby Lobby, but didn't say until you get more info. Any updates? I have been looking, I've probably spent 3 or 4 hours the past week trying to dig through sources, and there's a bunch of legal filings that have to occur before they can do any work. I haven't seen anything yet. It's really once they start doing some public filings, or the company that's going to build there, whatever company that might be, makes an announcement, that's when we'll know. And as soon as I know, there are 3 or 4 companies that I'm watching very closely. I've been told a few things by sources I consider extremely reputable and extremely reliable, but until I see something in writing, I'm not going to say anything. Coffee time. Holy mackerel, it's already 4 o'clock. All right. Let's see, we talked about sinkholes. Let's see if we can get through these things here. Mark wants to know, do you think in 5 or 10 years the villages will be big enough to justify new car dealerships? Villages doesn't do car dealerships. Those are local merchants, and there are many around the villages. There is a whole car, a whole row of car dealers along 441 in Leesburg. We come up to villages from Tampa area. Do you think they will ever build a direct road from I-75 to the villages? No, because it's direct. No, there's already 2 existing exits. County Road 470. If you take that, you follow 470 up. It will take you to Moultrie Creek, which would be the closest age-restricted property, and that's 7 miles. If you take the State Route 44, it's about 5 miles from the State Route 44 exit to Brownwood. That's about as close as you're going to get. Let's burn through some more of these. Lori wants to know about walking trails in Moultrie Creek, Middleton. And they want to walk their golden retriever. Good choice in dogs. I have 2. I absolutely love my dogs. So looking at some video footage I shot in the last week, I don't see any walking trails. Again, normally those are along wetlands areas or along the wooded areas that aren't part of a golf course. And there's really nothing like that in Moultrie Creek. However, in Middleton, there are a lot of walking paths. And you can use those. Let's see. 2 questions. Hope this is okay. This is from Kimberly. It says, is Dabney too isolated? Maybe once the area is built out around 5 years, it won't be. What about the water treatment plant? Any reported issues? So, is it too isolated? You go outside Dabney and you go east on 470 and you're in Leesburg in like 3 or 4 minutes. So there's not a lot of commercial property built down there yet, because if you build it, they will come is a failed business plan. The customers have to be there first before the businesses ever build. Okay? That was one of the holdups in Magnolia Plaza for Publix. There simply wasn't enough homes to justify it. Homeowners can be inconvenienced for quite a while having to go down to Lake Deaton Plaza to go to Publix. But if they built the Publix and nobody came in to shop, it's going to fail. So fortunately, that Publix, the whole Magnolia Plaza is just unbelievably popular and busy. Especially since they put in the 7-Eleven gas station. That was so over needed. It was unbelievable. I am glad they finally opened it up. They had some problems, but initially, I guess, I heard they had some electrical problems, but they got them all worked out, and now it's a great place. And I get my Diet Big Gulp Dr. Pepper there every time I go out shooting. And as far as the water treatment plant, so are you talking about potable water treatment or wastewater treatment? Potable water treatment, those wells, there's no problem with them. Wastewater treatment plant, they've built a new one at the Gibson wastewater treatment facility, which is right there by the fire station that's being built. It's Fire Station 48. No, it's a state-of-the-art facility. There's no issues. Update on the hospital. I think we talked about this. There was UF did pull out. There was some changes in leadership. There was an unfavorable business environment a few years ago in Sumter County, coming to its head because of wanting to raise impact fees that weren't justified. But I know that, again, they're negotiating and trying to get somebody in there. And I've been told as soon as they get something firmly on paper, they'll make an announcement. But until then, it's anybody's guess what's going to happen and who and when it's going to happen. So let's see. When do you think they'll start building the new section of Richmond near Brownwood? Yes, it's already in progress. And like I said, this summer I think we'll start seeing houses go up for sale. And that's all the questions that I had. So anybody else got questions? Wow, I can't believe we just burned through an hour and 8 minutes. And my throat's getting dry. Yes, it's not a Christmas coffee cup this time. It's a Mickey Mouse coffee cup. My wife used to work at Disney World for quite a few years, and for the first few years that we lived here in the Villages, and then she quit once she was eligible for retirement. All right. Oh, all right. Well, thank you, Jeff. I appreciate you coming on and sharing with us. Again, any more questions? I had one other question. It was rather ugly, so I'm going to hold on to that one and try and figure out a way to answer it that I don't tell somebody where to go in answering it. Let's see. Ask a Teacher says, is it also okay for Middleton residents to use for Moultrie residents to use the dog parks in Middleton? Honestly, I don't know. I know you can't use their pool, but I would have to find out about the Middleton dog park. There will be one over by the Farragut ball fields and the Olympia Recreation Center and the lake once Eastport opens. So that would probably be a better choice. It definitely will be closer, and you can take your dog, go to the dog park, and then when you're done, stop in the town square, get something to drink, something to eat. All right. Let's see. Lots of thank yous. I appreciate you. Again, I appreciate all of you all coming on here. Do you plan? Oh, retired in Florida. Question: do you plan on continuing in politics after your term ends? Well, technically my term ends in November, but I've already filed for re-election, and I hope to have another 4 years serving the residents of Sumter County. I believe it's a good calling to serve others. That's why I joined the military. It's just the way I was raised. But Will I do another term after that? I don't know. I'll be 67 at that point. I know that's still young around here in the villages, but it does take. I don't know if you guys heard that. My wife says no about that. uh, let's see. Mr. Howarters says, are they still looking at fixing the golf cart crossing at Southern Oaks and Megason Road? Good question. That is in the hands of CDD, which CDD is at 13. Okay. The county doesn't do golf cart or multimodal paths, so it falls to the CDDs and the developer to take care of that. I know that the county will support the any work that goes on there to make it better. But as far as, the county's not going to do anything. So again, I would say take this up with CDD 13 at their meeting. I think personally the correct answer is to move the crossing back closer to the gates so that it's consistent with the way other gates are done. I have a gate right outside on the other side of the wall from where I live on Hillsborough Trail that it's only about 25-30 feet from the gate to the golf cart crossing. By doing that, it stops the race condition that happens, and so that's the people heading south. The people heading north are already slowing down when they get to that point. I think personally that's the right answer, but I'm not a traffic engineer. I know that when I did go out and look, there were a lot of people that just blew through the stop signs. People didn't like hearing that. I just call it as I see it. I mean, I did not go out in my truck. I went out in my golf cart. I went out in my wife's car, where I'm not easily recognizable. My truck has all kinds of stuff on it, so people know who I am and where I'm at. Let's see. Corvette Kid says, do you know what's going in the area that's always future commercial between Middleton and Moultrie Creek? No, I don't. That's kind of this is this L-shaped area right there at Landstone Boulevard and I'll get it out now. Central Parkway. So where that intersection is there at the traffic circle, that's designated commercial. I don't know what's going in there. I haven't heard anything. I haven't seen anything. Even my best sources go, I don't know. Let's see. All right. So we're going to do this again next week. I intend to continue doing it every Sunday. Next week, we will do it after the premiere of video number 137, assuming I get it done this week. I got 2 classes to teach. I got a county commission meeting. I got a lot going on. But I will finish up here. I will go grill some tuna and go play some samba for this evening. And then maybe tonight I'll do some more editing. But for right now, I need a break. All right. Once again, thanks everybody for joining me. I look forward to hearing from you all again next week. Remember, hit those thumbs up buttons. I appreciate your support. And that's all I got. I'll leave you with some slides of the puppies. All right, where'd it go? Oh yeah, here it is. We pressed that button. So this was the litter of pups we had this summer, by the way. They were absolutely adorable. The darker dog there is the mother. That's Lily. Incredible mother. This is one of the puppies after it went home, about 4 months old. That's Lily and Gracie. Lily was just awesome. And Lily with her head stuck in a spaghetti sauce pot. And there's the pups. It was such a joy. I had such a good time. And we were able to make a profit and give those profits to, Joshua's House, and which is a golden retriever rescue and sanctuary, and also to Mid-Florida Golden Retriever Rescue. We gave them a nice donation The goal was to share some of the love that we feel for our dogs, and you know, uh, help other people enjoy. This thing was supposed to be a much bigger cross section of pictures. I don't know what happened, but Lily and Sully, the male, great parents, and it was fun. It was a lot of work, but it was definitely fun. All right, everyone, I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream now. Thank you once again. Oh, that is, who is that? That's Hope. She's a great dog. Thanks, everyone. Take care. Turn off the microphone, Don.